Hi everyone, Dr. Mandell here. If you're over 50, 60, or 70, all your kidneys are working harder than ever before. And yet, most people, without even realizing it, are destroying their kidneys every single day through the wrong kind of protein. They tell you protein is the building block of life. That without it, you'd lose your muscle, your strength, your energy. But what they don't tell you is that the same protein that keeps you alive can also quietly destroy the organs keeping you alive. Your kidneys. And the most dangerous part, you won't feel it happening. Not tomorrow, not next week, not even next year. It happens in silence, one bite at a time. Every second, your kidneys filter your blood, about 200 quarts a day. They're working nonstop, removing waste, balancing electrolytes, and maintaining your blood pressure. But when you feed your body the wrong kind of protein, those filters begin to clog. Think of it like a coffee filter catching too many grounds. Eventually, it slows, clogs, and burns out. That's exactly what happens to your kidneys when toxic proteins flood your bloodstream. In your 20s and 30s, your body forgives a lot. But as you age, your kidney filtration rate naturally declines by up to 40%. So when you eat the same high-protein diet you did when you were younger, it's no longer fuel. It's fire. A slow, burning fire that silently damages the microscopic filters called nephrons, the life-saving structures that never regenerate once they're gone. Scientists call this protein-induced hyperfiltration. It sounds complicated, but it means this: your kidneys have to work overtime to flush out the nitrogen waste created when protein breaks down. The higher the protein load, the harder they push. Over months and years, that pressure weakens them. The nephrons scar, filtration slows, toxins rise, and then suddenly you're sitting in a doctor's office being told your kidneys are only functioning at 60%. It didn't happen overnight. It happened quietly with every slice of bacon, every whey shake, every processed burger that tasted harmless. Processed red meats are the worst offenders. A Harvard study following over 11,000 adults found that those who ate processed meats daily had a 28% higher risk of kidney function decline. The reason? Nitrate sodium and advanced glycation end products, chemicals formed when meat is cured or fried. These compounds attack the delicate blood vessels inside the kidneys, stiffening them until they can no longer filter efficiently. Now imagine your kidneys like a sponge. A young, healthy sponge can absorb and filter everything easily. But when the sponge gets old, stiff, and damaged, no matter how much water you pour, it just can't absorb the same way. That's what processed protein does. It ages your kidneys faster than time, but it doesn't stop there. Whey protein, the fitness favorite, also carries a hidden danger. Researchers from the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that excessive whey intake increases creatinine and urea levels, clear indicators of kidney strain. Most people think they're building muscle. What they're really building is silent metabolic waste their kidneys must fight to remove. And for seniors, that's a dangerous game, because when kidney function drops below 60 milliliters per minute, a threshold known as stage 2 chronic kidney disease, symptoms don't scream, they whisper. A little fatigue here, a loss of appetite there, maybe swelling in your ankles. By the time you feel something's wrong, nearly 80% of your filtering capacity may already be gone. Frayed and charred proteins make it even worse. When meat hits high heat, the grill, the fryer, the pan, it produces heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These are not just tongue-twisting names, they're toxins proven to damage DNA and kidney cells. The National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences confirmed these compounds accumulate inside kidney tissue, triggering oxidative stress, a biological rusting that breaks cells down from within. And what about cheese, butter, cream, those comforting creamy proteins? High-fat dairy is rich in casein, a protein that increases your body's acid load. To neutralize it, your kidneys release buffers, pulling calcium from your bones and straining your filtration system. A recent European study found that older adults consuming high animal, dairy protein diets had twice the risk of developing chronic kidney disease compared to those eating plant-based proteins. It's the perfect trap. We've been told protein equals health. But what we were never told is that not all protein behaves the same once it enters the bloodstream. Animal proteins generate acidic waste, sulfuric acid, uric acid, ammonia, all of which your kidneys must process. Plant proteins, on the other hand, are alkaline-forming, easing the kidney's workload. And yet we see protein marketed as pure strength in powders, bars, and meal replacements. But these products are loaded with preservatives and artificial sweeteners like sucralose and aspartame, both of which increase renal oxidative stress. Studies have shown sucralose can alter kidney glucose transporters, impairing detox function. So that healthy protein bar, it might be doing more harm than a burger. Here's the real shocker according to the CDC. Over 37 million Americans have kidney disease, and 90% don't even know it, because the body doesn't send alarms. It just keeps going until one day it can't, and all it took was years of the wrong kind of protein. You see, your kidneys aren't built for excess, they're built for balance. When you eat a large steak, your protein intake might jump to 60 or 70 grams in one meal. That's the equivalent of your kidneys working double, time for 24 hours just to clear the waste. Now imagine doing that every day for 30 years. That's not nutrition, that's overwork. Even dehydration amplifies the damage. Protein metabolism produces urea, a toxic compound that needs water to flush out. If you're not hydrating enough, urea builds up, crystallizes, and can even form kidney stones. That's why researchers recommend at least 30 milliliters of water for every gram of protein consumed. Most people don't even get half that. And still, people wonder why they're always fatigued, why their ankles swell, why their urine looks foamy or dark. These aren't random signs. They're early warning signals from kidneys under siege. Here's something few people realize. Once kidney damage begins, it can't be reversed. But it can be slowed dramatically by changing what's on your plate, by recognizing that not all proteins are kidney friendly. By understanding that longevity isn't about how much protein you eat, but about how clean, balanced, and natural that protein is. The science is clear. In one landmark study from the University of Minnesota, older adults who replaced half of their animal protein with plant-based sources improved kidney filtration efficiency by 13% in just 6 weeks. No pills, no procedures, just food, real food. So next time you sit down for a meal, think of your kidneys. Those two fist-sized organs that never stop fighting for you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every ounce of strength you have depends on their quiet, relentless work. They don't ask for much, just a little respect, a little awareness, and a little change in how you fuel your body. Because when you protect your kidneys, you protect your life. And that is the truth behind protein they never told you. They say healing begins with food, but for millions of people, the truth is that healing begins when you choose the right kind of protein. Because not all proteins damage the kidneys, some actually protect them, repair them, and even extend your life. The difference is not in how much protein you eat, but in where that protein comes from. The human kidney was never designed to handle years of toxic, acid-producing, heavily processed proteins. It was designed for balance, for nourishment that comes from clean, natural sources that work with the body, not against it. And today, we're diving into the forgotten truth about those life-saving proteins. For decades, doctors and diet companies have told you one thing. Get your protein from meat, dairy, and shakes. They said that's what builds muscle, that's what keeps you strong. But here's the shocking fact most people never hear. The longest living populations in the world, people in the blue zones, eat far less animal protein than the average person, and yet they have stronger kidneys, lower blood pressure, and nearly zero cases of chronic kidney disease. Why? Because their protein comes from plants, beans, lentils, quinoa, and nuts, foods filled with antioxidants, fiber, and phytonutrients that lower inflammation instead of fueling it. Let's start with lentils and beans, the unsung heroes of kidney protection. These tiny foods carry one of the most balanced forms of plant protein on Earth. A single cup gives your body around 18 grams of protein along with potassium, magnesium, and soluble fiber. That fiber doesn't just support digestion, it literally filters the bloodstream. Researchers from the National Kidney Foundation discovered that people who replaced 50% of their animal protein with lentils reduced their markers of kidney stress, such as blood urea, nitrogen, and creatinine, in just 8 weeks. That means these foods aren't just neutral, they actively relieve the kidney's workload. Beans also carry compounds called polyphenols, powerful plant antioxidants that neutralize free radicals before they can damage kidney cells. And here's something almost no one talks about. The potassium in beans doesn't harm the kidneys unless you already have end-stage kidney disease. In healthy seniors, it's actually protective. It helps lower blood pressure, one of the main causes of kidney decline worldwide. Now let's talk about fish, real fish, not fried, not processed, but wild-caught, cold water fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, the same compounds found in human cell membranes that keep inflammation under control. Chronic kidney disease is, at its core, an inflammatory condition, and omega-3s fight that inflammation at the source. A 2022 meta-analysis from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors who consumed omega-3 rich fish twice per week had a 33% lower risk of kidney function decline. That's not a small number. That's the difference between staying independent in your 70s or spending your 80s on dialysis. But here's the catch, not all fish protect you. Farmed fish often carry antibiotics, microplastics, and oxidized oils that do more harm than good. Wild-caught fish, especially those rich in EPA and DHA, support the glomeruli, the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys that filter toxins. In animal studies, omega-3s were shown to literally reverse early kidney inflammation and prevent fibrosis, the hardening of kidney tissue that leads to failure. That's food acting as medicine in its purest form. Next comes one of nature's most misunderstood foods, the humble egg. For years, eggs were blamed for cholesterol, for heart disease, for almost everything under the sun. But modern science tells a different story. Eggs, in moderation, are one of the cleanest, most complete proteins available. Each egg contains all 9 essential amino acids, along with choline and vitamin D, both critical for metabolic balance. In fact, researchers from the University of Connecticut found that moderate egg consumption did not increase kidney strain in older adults. Instead, it helped preserve muscle mass, and that's vital because muscle mass itself protects your kidneys. When your muscles weaken, your metabolism slows, blood sugar rises, and insulin resistance increases, all factors that accelerate kidney decline. But the key word is moderation. 4 to 6 eggs a week, not 3 a day. Because even the cleanest protein can become a burden when it's consumed in excess. The goal isn't to eat more. It's to eat smarter. Now let's travel to South America, where one ancient grain has quietly become a global symbol of clean protein: quinoa. Quinoa isn't just another plant. It's one of the few plant foods that's a complete protein, containing all 9 essential amino acids. But what makes it truly powerful for kidney health is that it's alkaline forming. Unlike meat, which creates acidic byproducts like uric acid and ammonia, quinoa helps balance the body's pH and reduces the acid load that kidneys must neutralize. The less acid your kidneys have to buffer, the longer they last. That's the secret nobody teaches you. In 2019, researchers at the University of Milan compared animal protein-heavy diets to plant-based diets in older adults. The results were striking. The plant-based group had significantly lower blood pressure, better kidney filtration rates, and improved insulin sensitivity, all within 12 weeks. That's the kind of change that doesn't just add years to your life, it adds life to your years. But there's another layer to this story. When you eat plant-based proteins, you're not just protecting your kidneys, you're protecting every system that depends on them. Your kidneys regulate blood pressure, red blood cell production, and even your bone health. And when they're under less stress, everything else thrives. Your heart beats easier, your mind feels clearer. You wake up lighter, energized, alive. That's the difference between surviving and healing. Imagine your kidneys as 2 ancient machines, still beating, still filtering, still fighting for you after decades of service. They don't complain, they don't rest. But every day, they're asking for help, not through pain, but through quiet signs: a little swelling in your feet, a bit of fatigue, dry skin, darker urine. These are the whispers of organs that want to keep going, but need you to meet them halfway. And the way you do that is by feeding them the proteins they were built for. Clean, balanced, anti-inflammatory. Even the smallest shift can make a difference. Replacing one heavy meal a day with lentils and quinoa. Swapping fried fish for steamed salmon, cutting down on cheese and reaching for beans. Drinking more water to help your kidneys flush waste efficiently. It's not about perfection, it's about protection. Every choice you make either adds pressure or removes it. Your kidneys are your body's silent guardians. They filter every heartbeat, every emotion, every toxin you've ever encountered. They don't ask for attention, they ask for support. And the right protein gives them exactly that. Because longevity isn't about adding more to your plate, it's about choosing the foods that help your organs do their job better. Lentils, beans, fish, eggs, quinoa, they're not just ingredients, they're the raw materials of repair, the foundation of healing, the quiet soldiers that protect you from the inside out. The truth is, every meal is a choice between inflammation or restoration, between overload or balance, between shortening your life or extending it. And when you choose these protective proteins, you're not just saving your kidneys, you're saving your future. So the next time you sit down to eat, remember, food isn't just fuel, it's communication. It tells your body what to heal, what to protect, and what to let go of. And when you choose the proteins nature designed, the clean, living, healing kind, your kidneys will hear the message loud and clear. They'll thank you with energy, clarity, and years of strength you thought you'd already lost. Because food doesn't just change how long you live, it changes how well you live. And your kidneys, those quiet heroes, deserve nothing less: balance and hydration. 2 words we hear so often that they almost lose meaning. But inside your body, they're not just suggestions, They're survival codes, because your kidneys are not built for extremes, they're built for equilibrium. A delicate harmony between what you eat, what you drink, and what your body can process. And when that balance breaks, the system that keeps you alive begins to collapse in silence. You can live without food for weeks. You can live without sleep for days. But without water, your kidneys start dying within hours. They are 80% water, and every one of the 2 million microscopic filters inside them, the nephrons, depend on hydration to flush toxins, maintain minerals, and keep your blood pure. But here's the truth that shocks most people: over 70% of adults in a constant state of dehydration. They drink coffee instead of water, soda instead of hydration, alcohol instead of balance. And the kidneys pay the price every single day. Your kidneys don't scream for help, they whisper. The first sign is fatigue, then muscle cramps, then swelling, dizziness, brain fog. These aren't random signs. They're the result of blood that's too thick, too toxic, too concentrated for the kidneys to filter. A study published in the American Journal of Physiology found that even mild dehydration, just 1 to 2% fluid loss, significantly reduces renal blood flow. That means fewer nutrients, more waste, and faster aging of kidney tissue. It doesn't take years to do damage. It can happen in days. Now, imagine your kidneys as 2 massive filtration plants running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every protein you eat, every mineral you absorb, every toxin you encounter has to pass through them. And when you eat a high-protein diet, the kind most people think is healthy, you increase the amount of nitrogen waste your kidneys must flush out. Without enough water, that waste crystallizes into uric acid and creatinine, clogging the delicate nephron filters like sludge in a pipe. This is how kidney stones form. This is how filtration rates drop. This is how life changes forever. The body gives you warnings, subtle but real. Foamy urine, a sign of protein leakage. Dark urine, a sign of dehydration. Constant thirst, the alarm your brain sends when your kidneys are struggling. But we silence these signs with more coffee, more processed food, more salt. The average person consumes 300–400 milligrams of sodium per day, more than double what the kidneys can safely handle. And sodium, when paired with dehydration, becomes poison. It causes the kidneys to retain water, the blood pressure to rise, and the arteries feeding the kidneys to stiffen. Over time, this cycle erodes kidney tissue like sandpaper against glass. But there's another side to the story, one that most doctors don't explain clearly enough. Balance isn't just about water. It's about the relationship between water, protein, and minerals. For every gram of protein you consume, your body requires roughly 30 milliliters of water to process it safely. That means if you eat 70 grams of protein a day, your kidneys need at least 2 liters of water just to stay in equilibrium. Less than that, and the excess waste starts to build up. Scientists call it the protein-water ratio, and it's one of the most overlooked factors in kidney health worldwide. In 2021, researchers at Johns Hopkins University tracked hydration patterns in over 10,000 adults. Those who consistently drank less than 5 glasses of water a day had a 60% higher chance of developing chronic kidney disease within 10 years. But here's what's fascinating. When those same people increased their water intake to 8 or 9 glasses daily, the risk dropped by almost half, even if they made no other dietary changes. That means the simplest act in the world, drinking clean water, can literally protect you from one of the deadliest diseases of aging. And it's not just the kidneys that benefit. Proper hydration lowers blood pressure, prevents fatigue, improves brain function, and even boosts immune strength. But for the kidneys, it's everything, because your kidneys are your hydration regulators. They decide what stays and what leaves. When you give them enough water, they flush toxins, balance electrolytes, and regulate hormones like aldosterone that control blood pressure. When you don't, they go into survival mode, holding onto salt, concentrating urine, and overworking themselves until they can't recover. Balance also means managing what kind of water your body holds onto. Not all hydration is equal. Sugary drinks, sodas, and even sports beverages overload the bloodstream with glucose and additives that force the kidneys to work harder. A study from the University of Sydney found that people who drank 1 or more sugary beverages a day had a 23% greater risk of developing kidney stones and a 19% higher risk of early kidney decline. Water, plain and simple, is what your body was designed for. Herbal teas, coconut water, or infused water can add electrolytes and flavor, but nothing replaces pure, mineral-rich hydration. Now let's talk about balance beyond hydration, the balance between plant and animal proteins. The human kidney thrives on variety, not dominance. A diet of 60% plant-based protein and 40% clean animal protein keeps acid and nitrogen levels manageable, reduces inflammation, and supports long-term filtration. The problem is, most modern diets are inverted, 70 to 80% animal-based, and the results are devastating. In a 2020 study from the European Journal of Nutrition, researchers found that older adults who consumed primarily animal protein had nearly double the rate of kidney function decline compared to those who ate mostly plant protein. The key is in the chemistry. Animal protein is acid-forming. It produces sulfuric acid and uric acid as byproducts. Plant proteins, on the other hand, are alkaline-forming. They help neutralize those acids naturally. The more acid you create, the more buffering your kidneys must do, and every ounce of buffering wears them down just a little more. Over time, this chronic acid load leads to microscopic scarring called glomerulosclerosis, a condition that slowly suffocates the kidneys from within. But there's hope, a kind of quiet, scientific miracle. When people shift even part of their diet toward plant proteins and increase hydration, kidneys respond almost immediately. Within weeks, blood pressure drops, inflammation markers fall, and filtration efficiency improves. You can literally measure healing in your blood work. The kidneys are resilient. They've evolved to endure, but only if you meet them halfway. Imagine it this way: your kidneys are like an orchestra conductor, guiding thousands of biochemical instruments in perfect timing. Water keeps the rhythm, balanced protein keeps the melody, minerals like magnesium and potassium keep the harmony. But if one instrument overpowers the others, too much protein, too little water, too much sodium, the music falls apart. What was once harmony becomes chaos. That chaos feels like fatigue, swelling, confusion, pain, symptoms that most people dismiss as aging when they're really signs of imbalance. The beauty of the human body is that it's forgiving. Even decades of poor habits can be reversed with awareness and consistency. Start by drinking a full glass of water the moment you wake up, before coffee, before food. Let your kidneys start their day clean. Eat your proteins thoughtfully. Beans, lentils, fish, eggs, and quinoa in moderate portions. Don't fear protein, respect it. It's not the enemy, imbalance is. And every time you choose balance, every time you hydrate, you're sending a signal to your kidneys that says you're not alone. You're supported, you can rest, you can heal. Because the secret to longevity isn't locked in pills or procedures. It's in the rhythm of balance, the dance between water, food, and time. Every sip, every meal, every choice becomes a message of preservation. And when your kidneys are balanced, your body is balanced. Your energy rises, your mind clears, your years stretch further than you ever imagined. In the end, balance and hydration aren't health tips. They're life support systems. And the greatest act of love you can give your body is to keep that balance sacred. Because the moment you do, your kidneys, those silent, tireless guardians, will reward you with the most precious gift of all: more time, more life, and more strength to live it well. I hope this video helps you or someone you love. Please share it with your family, because awareness saves lives. This is Dr. Mandell wishing you peace, love, and good health.